Hi, welcome back. To today's class, we'll focus on Paschimottanasana and how to go into it. What are some of the problems with Paschimottanasana? And how can you go into it, practice safely, so that you don't harm yourself? Before we get started, if you want to learn the basics of Iyengar Yoga, I've designed a new course, Foundational Iyengar Yoga. This course is for you if you're a beginner, if you've been practicing for a while and you just want to deepen your understanding, or if you're a teacher and you would like to be more inspired, go back to the basics. So it's a 6-week course, 18 different classes, and you'll be able to go through at your own pace. You can find more details in the description box below. So I'm just going to turn to the side now, and first just give you an idea of the pose. All right, so I'm going to do the pose the way most beginners do the pose and what happens. So the back starts to round and you go down like so. Okay, so coming back, Paschimottanasana, Paschima is west. So the west is the back body. So when the yogis used to practice, the west was an important way for them to practice. So it's referred to as west, the back body, the back of the thighs, the back of the calves. Uttana is intense. So it's an intense stretch for the entire back of the body. And asana is the posture. So in any posture, we want to be stable and be able to bring stillness to our mind. Okay, so we're going to just sit in Dandasana to begin with. We want to stretch the backs of the legs. I've taken a little bit of height here, so if your hamstrings are tight, it will be difficult for you to sit up straight. So if my hamstrings are tight, I might have them pulling my lower back. So I've taken a little bit of height. You can take the flesh of the buttocks back, the back of the thigh back. And if that's not enough height, then you can sit on 2 blankets, all right? So first of all, just sitting in Dandasana to get the idea of the back body a little bit more. Thighs moving down, extend through the whole back of the leg, extend the heel away, draw the toes back towards you, and then just bring your fingertips back behind you. And with that, lift your lower back up and bring the back ribs into the body. The problem we have with going forward is that we just shorten the front body and the back ribs start to protrude out. So you want to just bring that awareness to the back body first, shoulder blades moving down and forward, and then the back ribs are moving forward. So I can take my hands back further, press the fingertips down, and move the back away from my hands. So it's moving forward. All right, so I'm keeping that lift through the trunk by lifting up through the lower back. Thighs are descending. All right, so that's the first part of it. You want to make sure that you have a stable position. You're seated. You can get that length through your lower back. All right, so now, if you have tightness in your back, we're going to start out, just have a bolster handy, have a strap, and have another blanket in case you need to sit higher. So we'll start with the knees bent, first of all. And I want you to lengthen the abdomen up and start to come forward. So the whole abdomen lengthens over the front thighs. So you can take your hands underneath the thighs, holding onto the forearms and the wrist, and lift up. And with that lift, move the back toward the thighs and feel the abdomen along the thighs. So here you're hinging forward in that forward bending position. You're using your feet on the floor to keep you upright, and it helps you to get that length. So you're getting that extension. You have the thighs and the abdomen touching one another so you can feel the body moving forward. You can take your feet a little bit further away and then come a little bit deeper. So important that you just stay aware of the abdomen, lengthening the lower back. Remember, it's an intense stretch for the back. Right now, we are not stretching out through the backs of the thighs or the calves. We're just making that space in the back. Okay, so coming down like that. All right, I'm also going to take a blanket. This sticky mat is sticky. Okay, so I'm going to put a blanket here so that when I finally straighten my legs, I can slide my feet so that the heels don't get caught on that mat. All right, so now I'm going to take the bolster and bring it underneath. So I'll come forward again like I did before. So I'm lengthening, coming forward. Abdomen is on the thighs. And here you can take hold of your feet. So in the final pose, you're moving down towards your feet and beyond. Okay, so here, hold the feet, lift up through the chest. So the whole front body, anterior spine is lengthening. And you can feel those back ribs. So moving from this position, where the back ribs are moving out, and there's not much happening in the back, to this position. So pulling with the feet, lifting up. And then start to slide the heels forward, coming into Adho Mukha position where its chest is lifting. So here, the calves are supported, and you can lengthen with the abdomen. You can extend the legs a little bit further depending on your bolster, and just be in the back body. Look forward. Okay, so the hips are supported, the back is lengthening. I'm going to take that bolster away now. The next part is we're going to extend the legs. So we'll come back into Dandasana, and you can just take that strap on the feet and have it on the soles of the foot, the balls of the big toe. Hold that strap in such a way that you can feel when you pull, you're lifting your chest and the lower back is lifting. And with that, keep the front body lengthening and start to slide the heels down on that blanket. Move your shoulders back, tighten the knees so that the knee is moving into the socket, knees are descending, thighs are descending, and the calf is lengthening here. So extend through the heel, lengthening the whole back of the thigh, and then hinge forward any amount. So the more mobile you are in the hips, if that's the case, then you can walk your hands down that strap, but pausing in between and lift. So forward bends are not something that you do in a hurry. You stay there, wait, you observe, you stay aware of what you can feel in that pose and see where you can release. And so I'm going to come down a little bit more now. Staying in that concave back position, back ribs moving away from my shirt in the back, lengthening the calves, extend through the heels, and coming down. So I'm just going to come down a little bit more with the elbows bent. So keep the elbows bent and lift it up. So the hand is connected to the forearm, is connected to the upper arm, connected to the shoulder, and the whole shoulder girdle, which we call that connection of all the muscles and the joint there, shoulder blades, collarbones, all of that works together. So from here, when you bend the elbows, then I want you to draw back from the elbow to the upper shoulder, and then to move the back forward, you're going to move by moving the elbows forward. So you're not just going to come forward like this. When you come forward with the elbows down, the chest is sinking. So I want you to maintain that length through the front body. And then with bending the elbows, connect the upper arms to the shoulders and come forward. Just stay in a concave back position. Stay there, breathe. Inner thighs descending, inner knees descending. And then inhale, come up. Okay. So now, without the strap, you're going to bend your knees again. Lengthen. Keep the abdomen moving toward the thighs. You take your hands on your feet. Now, if you know that when you stretch your legs down, your back is automatically going to round, then you keep the strap. Okay? So, with the strap, like we did earlier, have that on the ball of the foot. Lift up, lengthen through the front chest, back ribs moving toward the thighs, and then start to slide down. Keep the abdomen connected to the thighs. Now, if this is already too much for you or enough for you, then you stop there. This is something that we move into slowly, and it sometimes takes a lot of time because you haven't been really able to soften the muscles or get that extension. So you have to work with your practice in a way that you start to surrender and just be aware of your body, your condition, and take the props needed. So I'm sliding my heels away. That might be enough for you. And then sliding them a little bit further. If you don't need the strap, you can take hold of the feet. And a little bit further. You may stop there, just be there. If you can go all the way down, you're extending through the heel. You're lengthening the calf. Stay in that concave position again. Bend your elbows. And move the elbows forward. All right, so depending on how far you go down, you can also have the support of the bolster on the calves so that when you come down and you want to hold it a little longer, you have a little bit extra support for the arms and the chest. You can move it so the chest is supported as well. Lift the chest up and come forward. So if you're able to take your feet, you take your feet. If not, stay with the strap. And then you can just be here. Thighs descending, inner knees moving down, inner thighs moving down, outer hips descending, and your lower back is still lengthening. Middle back is lengthening. Side trunk is lengthening. Now, if you come down a little bit further, then you can have that bolster for your head. Coming further. You can always have a block to support your head, so you don't want to get that rounded back. You could have a blanket as well. I don't have an extra blanket here, so I'm taking that block. And then right between the eyebrows, resting there. So you just stay, just be there, depending on the props that you've taken for yourself, so you can experiment with those. So again, bend the knees, lift up, holding the feet or the strap, start to move forward. So the trunk is moving forward. Stopping at any point so that you can come into this safely. And if this is not something you're going to go any further in, you stop there. Just be there. And then include this in your practice so that you start to, your body starts to understand. You create those neural connections that you need to. And then if you're down this far, you can take your hands holding onto the wrists and release your head. Breathe into the back body. Okay, and then come up. If you don't require the blanket, you can sit right on the floor, so it's not required that you sit on the blanket, only if you're not getting that height. So then I'm taking this blanket so I can slide, move forward, keep the abdomen lengthening, extending, reach the hands forward. You can also take a block. That block will help you to keep the feet even, so you're balanced on the ball of the big toe, inner heel, pressing. So your little toe side of the foot's not turning out, but the whole leg, the inner knee, inner thigh, moving down. And then you can take hold of that block and come into that concave position first. And then if you're ready to go a little bit deeper, you can go down. You can also have a block between the ankles. You can take that block sideways as well. And that when you come down, you can rest your forehead there. So you adjust the blocks according to your needs. Inhale, lift up. Take your blocks away. And now cross your legs, come into Sukhasana, and come forward. You can have a bolster. Bring that bolster right up to the abdomen. Allow the abdomen to rest on that bolster. You can take your other blanket. Bring your forehead onto the blanket. Extend your arms. So here, the back is supported, it's lengthened. The abdomen is moving toward the lower back. And you can just be here with a few breaths. Release your back. Release the hamstrings, the backs of the thighs. And then come up, change your position. So you can stay in that as long as you'd like. But here, the legs are no longer in play. The abdomen is supported to be moving in and back, which is what you're doing in Paschimottanasana as well. But here, the abdomen is on that bolster, completely supporting the opening, the broadness of the back, and the length. Change the cross on your arms. Let your forehead rest. And let your chest move down. If this bolster is not enough for you, then you can have a couple bolsters, or you could have a blanket on top of this bolster. But I want you to have the abdomen supported like you did when you had the abdomen on the thighs. Breathe into the back body, hips descending, knees descending, thighs releasing down. And then come up. Okay, so those are a few things that you can be aware of. Observe in your practice, different ways you can practice with the bolster, with the blocks, with the strap. And height under your hips. So making sure that the hips are high enough so that you can fold forward. You can see how easy it is how much easier it is to fold forward here when you don't have to think about the hamstring. So Paschimottanasana is intense stretch of the back body. So enjoy your practice. We'll see you next time. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. I hope that wasn't too difficult. Forward bends they look easy when you see people that are very flexible go into them, but they really are a process. So there's a lot of different parts that are having to work together. Your hips, your back is lengthening, your hamstrings, if you have tight hamstrings. So All of these things are important, and so I hope I broke it down enough for you that you can have a better understanding and practice on your own. It really does take you practicing to understand it in your body and see the kinds of support that you need. So enjoy the practice, enjoy the learning that comes, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.